Yes, you read the title right. When I made the video on extreme practices that left me speechless, let's just go back. So I was in the children emergency room and they brought in a child with burns and unconscious. So apparently the child had convulsed and they burnt his feet. Right. I'm sure a lot of you did not believe me, but today I have someone that this happened to and he's willing to share his experience. Let me introduce him. So introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Adeboale Sunday. I'm Yoruba by ethnicity.
So that you don't think it's a Yoruba thing, the patient I had talked about when I did my video was actually Igbo.
Okay.
So it's not, this practice is not a Yoruba thing. The first thing I want to do is that I want to thank you for sharing your experience. I know it's going to help a lot of people. I know some parts of it will be very uncomfortable to talk about, but I hope that in doing this, people see this and we help to curb these practices. So the first question I have for you is, how old were you when all of this happened? Can you tell us the circumstance that surrounded this whole situation?
I can't really remember what happened, but from the story I was told, it happened when I was 2 years old.
Okay, so like, give us, what did they tell you happened?
My dad and my mom, they traveled.
Okay.
So while they were traveling, it was a practice they do. Usually if they're traveling, they usually drop a kit with my grandmother. Okay. So we stay with her and then spend holidays. And when they come back, they come to pick me.
Are you the first?
I'm from a polygamous home.
Okay.
My mom is the second wife.
Okay.
So for my mom, I'm her first son. I have an elder sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was told that on this fateful day, so I started having fever, and they just thought probably it was the normal thing and all of that. And at some point, I started convulsing. And they called my grandma, and she was scared. Why would you be convulsing and all of that? And from their own culture, what they usually do is, because once they see anybody convulsing, they think they call it warapa in Yoruba.
Okay,
so warapa means it's the Yoruba interpretation of convulsions or epilepsy. Okay. So they call it warapa. Okay. So it's a stigma that you don't want to be associated with your family or anybody that is related.
Same with my culture as well. I'm Igbo, in case you don't know. But in my culture as well, if maybe you want to marry somebody and they go to do the background check and they say they have epilepsy in their family, they usually advise you, don't marry from there. Exactly. It runs in the blood. And so, exactly. Same with my culture.
So it's the same thing with us too. So what they usually do is once they notice a child begins to convulse, they say the child has warapa. And their treatment is to carry the child's feet and burn it, put the child's feet on red hot coal, burn the feet, and that burning will make the child pass out. And once the child passes out, the evil spirit that causes the warapa in quotes disappears and the child will be fine. So that's how they treat warapa, where my grandma came from.
So your grandma from your mother's or your father's side?
From my mother's side.
Okay. So at this point, if you're a parent and you're watching this, let me know in the comment section. God forbid, but assuming you come home and someone has burnt your child's feet, what I mean, I'm a parent of 2 children and I cannot imagine. Hey God, hey Jesus Christ, hey Jesus.
You remember what you went through during labor?
I'm telling you. Then I'll now come back and you say what? So just to say at this point, because part of what this video is for is to give knowledge, seizures or convulsions, like we call them, are as a result of increased electrical activity in the brain. So it really has nothing to do with the legs. But I get there was something you said that was very critical, that probably burning the child makes the child pass out. You get, so probably that's what stops the seizures, and then they think, okay, this is what stops the seizures. Maybe it's the pain from the burning or whatever it is. Maybe that's what stops the seizures actually. So yeah, maybe that is why they do that. But please, burning does not stop seizures. The child will still seize again. So please, I don't even know. Let's just continue. Let's see. So when your parents came back, hey God, what happened? What did they tell you happened? Because you were 2, you couldn't remember.
Yes, actually, my parents knew what happened, but I was told that they were not happy with it. And it caused some rift between them, between my dad and my grandma, and even my mom and her mother. But my mom, I think at some point she just had to understand it's the culture, because even her, she did not know that probably maybe it was from a different cause. So she just at some point had to agree with it, but they were not happy about it.
Okay, so do you know where they took you for treatment?
Okay, so that's the thing. I remember they took me to some hospitals. That was after the whole thing, where we came back here to North, and my parents took me to some hospital. But as at that time, it was actually late, because they said when they opened up the feet, it was burnt, and then they said the feet was looking greenish. So from what I was told, that the doctor that they met said the best is to just cut off the legs of the baby, the both legs.
Wow.
Then my mom was like, no. She can't imagine a child who had good feet when she gave birth to the child now will not have both feet again. So she just told them that just leave the legs. Whatever will happen, we will take care of it. So they took me home and just resorted to home management. No plastic, I was not taken to the hospital anymore. So they were just managing it at home. Then I grew up gradually. But I can remember my growing up days. I can't walk. So I was just on the bed. But my mom was the one doing everything. So I always tell her, Mommy, I want to go to the toilet. I want this. She'll come, she'll pick me, she'll carry me, and all of that. Even my elder sister could not go to school because of me. So we're all at home. So we're just homeschooled, and my mom was really, really helpful. Even my dad too. And my mom was there carrying me and all of this. So I think probably from the guilt and all of that. But she was really there for me.
Now you're talking about the treatments that said doctor offered. In retrospect, what do you think? Because now you have the feet, even though it's not in the original state. But do you think it would have been better that they were cut off? Because I'm thinking that's really extreme.
No. I don't. And the thing is, I think I will go with, I can say I don't have 2 feet. So probably maybe I have 1.5 or 1.25. It's better than none.
No feet at all.
Because I remember walking while I was growing up. At some point, when I was battling with actually accepting this identity, because the truth was, I met a lot of rejection. People judged me. Some people said I was not, what kind of child is this? Can walk. And I remember growing up then, I'm going out with my friends. Someone would just want to spite me, just like, why are you walking like that? And somehow it just kept hitting my self-esteem at some point. So it took me a while to actually accept that this is who I am. So while growing up with all of those things, the beautiful thing was that I really could not share this with anybody, not even my dad, because I lost my mom quite early.
Oh, wow.
And then my dad was a very fierce person. We don't go to tell him things. All he wants is go and read your book. Read your book. If my dad comes home, everybody disappears. So even when you're going through all of this, you can't tell them. I even remember there was this lady I was liking, while I was
how old were you that you were
liking someone? I was like 14, 15. That's when you want to learn how to chat to lady and all of that. So, but anyway, I went ahead and what she told me was not nice. She told me that walk like that and it will come to meet her. So I just felt bad about the whole thing. So, but the point was, somehow when I experience things like this, God does something. It brings another scenario that makes me remember that indeed I'm better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example?
Good. There was this particular day. I think I was in GS2 or thereabout. And usually another problem I used to have is during the Harmattan. It's terrible walking. It's terrible, as in I'm constantly in pain. But thank God I didn't result into taking of medication. So I just tried to bear the pain. I wear different kinds of shoes, still yet, no relief. So there was this day I was walking through the street and I was, then I had so because of that, I don't like walking so much. So I'm always mobile. Either I'm riding a bicycle or a machine, and somehow God will always provide one of that for me. So then I had the bicycle. That was all I had, even and then. So I was moving with my bicycle, and someone had just insulted me. So I just felt so dejected. I felt, why am I alive? Was it even my fault? This just happened. I did not, bargain for it. So I was going just that Bauchi road. As I was passing, then somebody just stopped me at that Bauchi road. This guy had no feet. Both legs were cut off. Maybe from an accident or something. He was just using
those things that they roll on.
Exactly, that they roll on. And he opened his hands that I should give him some money. I think I had like 15 or something. I was also a small boy. But I gave him. When I gave him, then something just was like, what's the difference between you and this guy? If they had cut off your legs, then you will actually be here. And immediately I was just like, oh God, thank you. I'm okay with this one. Let's just leave it like that. It's
just like finding the silver lining in very difficult situations. But like with what you shared, I think we should teach our children as parents to be kind. Children can be very new.
Yeah, they can be.
Hey God, children can be very. If you were bullied as a child, you know that children can be very new. So I think part of what we have to focus on as parents is to teach our children to be kind.
Yes.
Especially to people that don't look the way they look.
Exactly.
Because once someone has one problem, children, let me not even be kind. But then you talked about.
I was actually labeled like that. I was talking about children. They will say, that boy that walks as if he's drunk, because I have this this wobbling gait. He walks as though he's drunk. That's how they usually refer to me with my colleagues, and it's actually very painful. I just wonder, I'm a very nice guy, I have a very kind heart. And people will just see me, and the first thing they see is just the way you walk.
And
then to now watching it, they now ask you, what is wrong with your feet? And he's like, are you blind? Can't you see that there must be something wrong with my feet for me to walk like this?
Okay, let me confess, ma. When I first met you, I was like, I wanted to ask you what happened to your leg. But I was like, I don't know what happened to you. So maybe not something you want to talk about. But I just wonder. First of all, I didn't see you. I hadn't seen your leg.
Okay.
I just noticed that you are always wearing socks and wearing Crocs.
Yes, exactly.
So I was like, this person that is always
wearing
okay.
Crocs
At this point, let me tell you guys where I met Wale. I met Wale in the hospital. He was a house officer. Now he has finished house job. So like, this doctor that is always wearing Crocs, he's never wearing shoes. That was my first impression. How are you? And then he's walking one time. I wonder what happened to him. Okay. I kept it to myself. Until eventually I came to Nephro.
Okay. And
then actually, this doctor that used to work like this, he's really hardworking. Wow, interesting. I wonder why he works like that. But it just goes to show something that you talked about, that people label you with the condition. Even me, I did it like unconsciously, because I used to like that. Even when I want to describe it to somebody, I'm confessing, I'm sorry. It's not the best thing, but it is what it is, what I did. So it's something that I think you have to be conscious not to do to people. Okay, I used to that doctor that has a limp now. In case they don't know, like okay, because then I call you Wale, but I think a lot of people know you with Sunday. So I'm like, who is Sunday? Why are you that? They say no now. And I'm like, is it that doctor that works with the limp? They'll say, yes, it's okay, I know him now. So I think it's very important to try as much as possible that when someone has a condition, you shouldn't label them with that condition. It's difficult too, but I think it's something that everybody can consciously work on, because unconsciously it's very easy to just label somebody with that, and it's not very good. Now